of Charles' absence and took special care of her on the journey.
He was so faithful on this journey, for I had to be helped. And he, being young and strong, took that care upon himself. I wish his name ever held in remembrance of my children. Sarah DeArmond P. Rich.
Charles and Hosea Stout made their way across the Mississippi River to meet their wives and take them across. They traveled by canoe until they reached solid ice on the far side. Within a few weeks of their arrival in Quincy, Sarah gave birth to their first child, Sarah Jane. The hardships of the trip nearly took the lives of both mother and child. After Sarah's recovery, the Riches moved 50 miles up the river to Nauvoo.
It was a happy time for us to once more feel at home among the saints of God, and to be where we could hear words of comfort from the mouth of our prophet. We were truly a thankful and humble people. Sarah DeArmond P. Rich.
Nauvoo flourished under the direction of its prophet leader. Within a few short years, the city became the envy of the frontier, rivaling Chicago as Illinois' largest city. Joseph Smith was given a city charter and a charter for the Nauvoo Legion, organized to prevent a repeat of the persecution and bloodshed of Missouri. Joseph headed the Legion, and Charles was eventually second in command. In April of 1844, a few months before the martyrdom, Joseph appointed Brigadier General Charles C. Rich commander of the Nauvoo Legion. Peace for the Mormons was not to endure. Fear and jealousy aroused the people of adjacent towns to mob action once again. Then, in June of 1844, the brothers Joseph and Hiram Smith were murdered at the Carthage jail. The church was in its darkest hour.
I cannot describe the sorrow the church was thrown into at this time. Men, women, and children wept and cried aloud when the news came in that our brethren were killed. When word came that they were near the city, thousands went out. Oh, what a solemn time. I shall never forget it. Sarah DeArmond P. Rich.
Charles was on a mission in Michigan at the time and hurried back to Nauvoo. There, he saw the mantle of Joseph Smith and the leadership of the church fall upon Brigham Young. Though their enemies were certain this was the end of the church, the saints were determined to keep Nauvoo alive and redoubled their efforts to complete the temple. Charles, along with other leaders of the church, was first introduced to the concept of plural marriage by Joseph Smith. At the request of Brigham Young, Charles deliberated at length with Sarah regarding the principle of plural marriage.
Many will think it strange that I should consent for my husband